Okay, focus. Focus, ladies. You gotta focus. Okay. I got this. Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Nurse Ladies here and I am back with another video. So today I'm doing a video on a topic that I have been wanting to talk about. It's been months, but I've just been putting off doing this video because of the perfectionist that I am. I've just been wanting to plan this video to the T. Up until, I think, was it yesterday, when I was still trying to figure out what to do with myself, I decided, you know what, let me start talking to myself in the mirror about this topic. And I realized that, no man, I have everything figured out to bring this video to life. So I shouldn't be worried about anything. Let me just prepare myself, just sit down and have a chit chat with you guys about this thing, because it's something that is so important. It's I cannot stress this enough. This is such an important topic. Every woman needs to listen to this video. Everyone needs to know about this, especially if you are planning to have a baby in the future, or you are planning to have babies and you'd like to deliver naturally and deliver through vaginal delivery, then this is the video for you. Listen to this video. Make sure you stay tuned. I'll try and make this video short. But yeah, grab something, grab a glass of whatever, grab some water, grab juice, whatever you wanna, and sit and pay attention to this video, because this video is for you. Yes, you. I know you want to have kids, so this video is for you. Yeah. The topic that I'm talking about today is tips how to get through labor and childbirth, right? How you can prepare yourself, what you need to have in mind before you get to that point where you are in labor, right? So this needs planning, guys. This is not something that you can just wing and freestyle. The moment you decide to fall pregnant, this is something that has to be in your mind from day one. You need to start thinking about it. I don't think that a lot of people, when they decide that they want to have babies, they really think about the actual process of bringing that baby back to life. Yeah, but it's very important. It's very important because it's probably one of the most beautiful experiences that you will ever have to go through as a woman. However, at the same time, it is probably going to be one of the most painful, could be traumatic experience of your life. So you have to be prepared for it. You have to be prepared. So that's why I decided that I want to do this video. So yeah, if you're interested in hearing about this topic, please stay tuned. And if you enjoy this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on my uploads. And please share my videos, guys. Please share my videos. I know that there are quite a lot of women who need this information, so it would be great if you can share my videos on your social media, on your WhatsApp statuses, on your Facebook, your Instagram. I highly appreciate it when I see people sharing my videos. Yeah, and please don't forget to subscribe, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe. I need that. I need you to subscribe. If you are watching my videos and if you are a regular degular, please make sure that you subscribe, okay? So let us get into the video without any further ado. And excuse me, I'll be looking down because I wrote like my notes on my diary, yeah, so that I can keep track of what I'm talking about and yeah, remember my points. So yeah, I hope that won't be distracting. All right, so the first point or the first tip that I can give you women, especially you pregnant women, is that you need to prepare mentally for labor. You need to prepare mentally. It all starts here. You need to try and work on developing a positive attitude towards childbirth. If you have a positive attitude towards childbirth, it will help you to be able to get through the pain much more easily. Because just think about it. There's so much pain that you have to go through when you are in labor. And people have different pain perceptions and different pain thresholds. So the way I perceive labor pain might not be the same way that another person perceives it. We might have this exactly the same amount of pain, but it might be too much to handle for me. But for someone else, it might not be that bad, right? It might be like manageable for them, right? But whatever the case is, you need to try and develop a positive attitude towards that pain. Try and think of that pain as something that is good, something that is needed to bring your baby to life. Because without that pain, your baby cannot come to life. Well, of course, if you are going to have a natural delivery, a vaginal birth, you need that pain to bring your baby out. Unless you're going to have a cesarean section and you have a scheduled appointment, then you might not need to go through that pain. But if you're having a natural vaginal delivery, you need to go through that pain. Those contractions are what's going to help to get your baby out. So try and see the pain as positive. And guys, I know pain is not positive. If anything, pain is the worst negative thing ever because it brings suffering to the person who's experiencing it. So it's very hard, and it might seem like I'm crazy if I'm saying try and view the pain as something that is positive. But I really believe that if you see that pain as something that is positive, you will have less fear and less anxiety towards it. And if you have less fear and anxiety towards that pain, your body is more calm. Your body produces less of a fight and flight response. And you have less stress hormones in your body that are going to counteract all those hormones that you need to progress your labor. So the more anxious you are, the more stressed you are, and your body will be trying to fight. And you'll be having all of these stress hormones. They will counteract all those other hormones that are needed to get your labor to produce. And you might find that now, just because of your anxiety, your labor can be prolonged. And that's not something that you want, because you don't want to be in pain for a prolonged period of time. You get me? So try and have a positive view. That pain is good pain. It's the best pain that you'll ever have in this life. I don't know if there's any other pain that is good besides that one, because that one will help you to meet your baby girl or your baby boy that you have been waiting for probably a whole 9 or 10 months. So think of it as something positive. It will really, really help you to have a positive birth experience. And even with the contractions, you'll be better able to get through each and every contraction. The second point that I want to mention, or the tip that I want to give you guys on how to get through labor and childbirth, before you get into labor, I would advise that you watch realistic labor videos. And emphasis on the word realistic, because there's a lot of things that we see on TV when they depict women in labor. Sometimes you will see that this woman is pregnant in the movie and she'll just have this dramatic gush of water when her waters break, and then all of a sudden immediately contractions start. Next thing, she's pushing and whatever. So yeah, sometimes the things that we see on television can be quite dramatic and exaggerated. So hence I say you must watch videos that are realistic. Try and look for people's real experiences. And I recommend especially vlogs, those vlogs where people actually document each and every part of the labor process. Obviously, with it being censored and not showing explicit images, but at least you can get to know the kind of pain that these women experience when they're in labor, and what practical things they did that helped them to get through it. Yeah, I remember there was this other series that I used to like watching, One Born Every Minute. I'm not sure where it actually plays on DSTV, but I think I would watch it on YouTube when I was still a student. So it was about these, it was actually filmed at this hospital. It was a hospital, yeah. So it was at their maternity unit, and it would show all of these women coming in there in labor to give birth, and the midwives and how they interact with them, and like the whole labor process. So that was like very, very nice. I used to love watching it. It was quite realistic. Yeah, and I've seen quite a lot of people share their own birth experiences on YouTube to prepare your mind for what is about to happen to you, right? I think that at least when you know what to expect, it decreases the fear and the anxiety, because sometimes you have like so much fear of the unknown. So I think it's really good to watch those videos to prepare yourself mentally about what you're going to go through. And of course, people's labors are going to be different. So just because someone else had like this great experience, or they could manage the pain so gracefully, doesn't mean that you will be able to like do the same. Your pain might even be worse. So yeah, but just for you to have an idea and know what to expect, so that you don't go into labor thinking that, oh, everything is rosy, and then when you're there you get like the shock of your life. Yeah, labor is painful, guys. There's a lot of pain. It's a lot. Like, it's a lot. It really needs you to be prepared mentally for it. And then the third tip that I can give you guys is, do not compare pregnancies. If you've already had a baby and you've been in labor before, and maybe you're expecting your second or your third baby, don't compare your pregnancies and compare your labor as well, because every pregnancy is different, and your labor with your second baby might not be the same as the one that you had with your first baby, right? So for example, if you had a very traumatic experience with your first time pregnancy, and the pain was too bad, don't expect that with your second pregnancy it's also going to be terrible and unbearable. You might actually get surprised that you're better able to deal with that pain, or it's not that painful. And then also, with this point of not comparing pregnancies, also do not compare yourself to other people, right? And don't make another person's experience your own before you even get into labor, because obviously people will tell their stories of how their labors were and how terrible it was. It was such a bad experience, maybe that they had at the hospital with the staff, or even like with the pain was too much, and then people will tell you all sorts of things. So yeah, you can listen to other people's experiences of how they perceived their labor, but go into labor with a fresh new mindset. Have an open mind. Your experience might not be the same as that other person's experience. You might actually have a positive experience. So yeah, I think be open-minded, listen to other people's experiences, but don't make them your own, or don't think that the same thing is going to happen to you. Yeah, and also that's part of decreasing the anxiety and the fear. And then the fourth point that I'd like to mention is, be wary of things that people advise you to take, like home remedies or concoctions that people will advise you to take to progress your labor faster. right? Be wary and very careful about that kind of advice and the things that you drink. Because a lot of those things, they have not been tested for safety. So you do not know how safe those things are for you and for your baby. And also, you do not know if they could make your contractions even worse, painful than they actually should be. You don't even know if the baby might not be able to handle those contractions. You don't want to be having exaggerated contractions. Next thing, your baby's in distress because it's just too much for the baby. And also on your side, you are hysterical because you are just in so much pain. You don't want to do that. Allow your body to progress naturally. Allow your body to do what it does best. Because honestly, women's bodies were built for this, guys. Women's bodies know what to do. Yes, things do not always work out perfectly, but at least allow your body to go through this whole thing of labor naturally on its own without adding anything to it, and then only take things that are advised by your obstetrician or your midwife. Allow only for those medical interventions, but also think about them. Because those people have studied this thing, they know what they are doing. Yeah, they know what they're doing. They studied it, and they have experience. So rather accept that form of treatment, medical treatment, that you can trust, instead of accepting remedies from people who are not medically trained. And then just a follow-up point here is that I think one quality that is so important in labor is patience. I think it's very, very important to exercise patience when you are in labor. And that is tough. That is probably one of the toughest things to do, especially at that point when the pain is just too much. Probably all you can think about is, I just want this baby to come out. This pain is too much. I can't take it anymore. I just want this baby to come out, right? However, it's good to be patient, because if you start becoming impatient and, for example, you start pushing before it's time to push, you might hurt the baby. So, for example, when a woman is like fully dilated, their cervix is fully dilated, and I'll put a picture up here of a cervix and the stages that it goes through when a woman is in labor. So when it's fully dilated, and the cervix being the mouth of the womb where the baby's head will go out into the vagina so that it can exit the woman's body. So when the cervix is fully dilated, meaning that it's fully open, and the baby's head is about to go out of the womb or the uterus, when it is fully dilated, it's recommended that if you are a first-time mom, you should push or start bearing down for 45 minutes or less. And if you are a woman who has given birth before and it's not your first pregnancy, you should push no more than 30 minutes, ideally. So that's the ideal, right? Anything above that is a prolonged second stage. So second stage of labor is the pushing stage. So, and there's a reason why there are times set for this thing to happen, guys, because it is a stressful activity on the baby. Just imagine the baby's body is being squashed by that uterus, because the uterus has to contract and push the baby down like this to get the baby to come out. So just imagine the amount of stress that is on your baby when you are pushing, because now your uterus is contracting and you also have to push, right? So you don't want now your baby to become too distressed in that period. And also you don't want to push for a prolonged period of time. So what happens with some women when they reach that point where they feel like, you know what, they are tired, they can't take it anymore, they start to push. And sometimes the cervix it's still far from dilating. Maybe like you are 4 centimeters and you're already now starting to push. How long will it take you to get to 10 centimeters when you are actually ready now to push, and even the baby is able to go out because obviously the cervix is fully open? So just imagine that amount of stress that will be put on that baby for many, many hours of you pushing before time. And some babies that are born to mothers who like started pushing quite early on, when those babies are born, like they're very, very tired. So we expect that the baby will give like a vigorous cry when they come out or when they are born. But now some of those babies, you'll find that they are so tired that they'll produce like a weak cry and they won't be like active, and some other babies need to be resuscitated. So it's very important to exercise patience for your baby's sake. And another thing is that if you start pushing before the time, it can actually cause you to bleed a lot and for your cervix to be swollen. And now when it becomes swollen, it can actually start to close up, and that can also delay the progress of your labor. So you don't want to start pushing before that time, and hence I say that the quality of patience is very, very important. As much as the pain is so much, you need to be patient. I think you really need to try and be patient as much as you can. And I think one thing that can help women to try and be patient and allow their bodies to go through labor the way that they should, what will help to be patient is to take labor each contraction at a time. Take it each contraction at a time. Don't try and get through the whole process at one time. No, take it each contraction at a time. When you are having a contraction, focus on the current contraction that you are having. And then when that contraction goes away and you have some period to rest, make the most out of that period of resting. Catch your breath and prepare yourself mentally for the next one. So point number 5, which I think is very, 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 very important also, is to have a support partner in labor. This one, it's very important for your emotional health. It's very important. Because that whole experience of labor and childbirth, it can be so traumatic. It can be, and if you're going through it alone, I just can't imagine how it must be if you're going through this, the whole thing alone. Because obviously you as a mom, you're also going through like so many emotions at that time. You are scared, you are anxious, you are stressed, you're in pain, you just don't know how to feel. There's just so much going on. And if you've had a prolonged labor and you've been in labor for so many hours, you're probably physically tired and just emotionally, mentally drained. So it really helps to have with you someone that you trust and someone that you know you can be free around, and someone that you know will be able to support you properly during that time. This person can be your partner, or your husband, or your mother, or an aunt, whoever you choose, whoever you feel comfortable with, someone that you know this person is going to go through each and every pain with you, and they will understand what you are going through and be with you each and every step of the way, and be willing to learn and be willing to go through the whole experience with you. You need someone who's going to be like that, who's going to be very much supportive. Because the truth of the matter, guys, is that especially in public, we as midwives, we have many patients to attend to. in a 12-hour shift, I can have 5 patients that I'm taking care of. And these patients, some I have to admit, others they've already been admitted, and I have to keep reviewing them over that period of 12 hours. Some end up delivering, some have complications, and I have to transfer them to a hospital. So probably the time that I'll be able to spend with you as my patient in public healthcare, because I'm not only taking care of you, probably the only time I will have with you is that time when I'm actually reviewing you, when I'm admitting you, and I'll be able to find out how are you doing, how was the pain, how are you feeling. I'll be checking you, checking how's the baby, how far in labor you are, how are you progressing, and I'll give you some advice and some tips on things you can do. But after that, I probably have another patient that's waiting for me to go and see them, or waiting to be admitted. Or maybe I have another patient at the same time while I'm seeing you. I have another one that is close to delivering on the other side of the clinic. So it's very difficult for us as medical professionals to always be there each and every step of the way, to go with you through every contraction, right? So when you have a labor support partner, then that person will be there with you each and every step of the way. That's the lovely thing about it. But now, the unfortunate thing is that in public facilities or government facilities at times, we are not able to allow labor support partners inside the maternity wards because there's no privacy for each and every patient. Most of the facilities in public, pregnant women, maybe like 5 will be in a room, or maybe we'll have a room where 3 can deliver at the same time, and there are no individual rooms for each patient. And you'll also find that women are just walking around the whole place having hot flushes, so they undress and they walk around naked. So we can't have men and like other outsiders or people there to see all of this, because it's a lot, and we're trying to respect the privacy of each and every patient. But in those public facilities whereby like one patient can have their own room, then in those facilities a labor support person can be allowed to come in, right? Yeah, so that's just the unfortunate thing about public healthcare. But in private, I know that with some plans that you can choose, and obviously you will discuss this with your midwife or with your gynecologist, and according to your medical aid or what you can afford, you are able to get like an individual room where it's just going to be you in that room. It's yours, and then you can have as many people as you want, I guess, depending on hospital regulations. But I know now with COVID, things have been like quite different. So the amount of people who are allowed, it has been restricted. But I think it's very, very important, guys. If you are able to afford private healthcare, go to private. You'll have a lot of support. And then if you cannot, then you can still come to public. Yeah, and depending on whether you're at like, if you're at a hospital that has individual rooms, then you can be able to bring your labor support partner. Yeah, but ultimately having a labor support person is very, very important. And then in private and also in public, sometimes we will have like some doulas. And doulas, basically, they help the women to go through the whole labor process. They help them mobilize, move around, do exercises that can help to progress the labor, and they just support them emotionally. There are a lot of benefits of having a doula. It's actually like one of the best things that you can do for yourself as well, because the doula can also the doula with the midwife can also help your partner or your labor support person to know what to do and how to help you when you're in labor. So yeah, that's something that's very, very important. Emotionally, I personally feel like if I'm going through like a traumatic period or like something that's very difficult, and I have someone that I love with me and that I trust, I think I would be better able to go through that stressful period if I know I have someone who loves me and who is supportive of me. Yeah. Okay, and then the sixth point that I wanted to mention, it's very important, guys. For as long as possible, try and distract yourself. Try and keep yourself busy for as long as is possible. Yeah, because I think, also if you're not doing much and you are in labor and you're having these contractions, like all your energy is focused on the contraction if you're not doing much. But if perhaps in the early stages of your labor, when the pain is still like manageable, you keep yourself busy, do stuff in the house and mobilize and take a shower, those kind of things, keeping yourself busy, reading books if you like reading, listening to your favorite music, or keeping yourself busy by like talking to your loved ones and like updating them on the labor. Try and keep yourself busy for as long as possible. Those things, I feel like they really, really help because they help you to stay calm for longer. You really want to try and preserve your energy for as long as possible, at least when your pain is still manageable, because there will come a time where the pain will increase and it will start getting more and more difficult to get through the contractions. So while you still can, try and keep yourself calm and distracted as much as possible so that you preserve your energy for the time when the pain is going to be really strong and it will really need a lot from you to be able to go through it. Yeah. So things like listening to music, watching movies, watch a movie or watch your favorite series, talk to people. For example, if you are in public and you are not allowed a labor support person, call your friends, call your family, talk to them, do video calls or even like just voice calls. Talk to them throughout the whole time. Try and distract yourself from focusing too much on the pain so that you can be able to preserve your energy for a longer period of time so that you are able to get through the most difficult stages of your labor. All right, and then the seventh point that I want to mention are tips. These are for managing pain. And I'm going to focus on the non-medical methods only in this video, right? I don't want to say much about the medical. I just want to focus on the non-medical related. So, because these are things that are in your control. These are things that you can, like practical things that you can do to try and decrease the pain for yourself. Yeah, so things like breathing exercises. Breathing exercises, they really help to keep you in control of what's happening. With every contraction, if you do deep breathing exercises, they help you to be in control. They decrease the perception of pain. They allow you to get in more oxygen for your baby at that crucial time when you're having a contraction and the baby's oxygen might be compromised, and you'll be optimizing your oxygen intake if you do your deep breathing, especially in those moments when you are having a contraction. I remember, so I have irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, right? So when it was like still like so bad and I was not yet able to manage it, I had not mastered how to like manage it. I would get stomach aches quite frequently, like a lot. And I would have these excruciating stomach aches that I couldn't even stand up straight. I couldn't even concentrate in class. I couldn't even concentrate in meetings. And like it would get so bad to the point that if I'm at like meetings or I'm in class, I have to leave because I just cannot stay. But now it would be a thing of, how will I leave? How will I go home? Because I can barely walk, right? So it would get so bad. But one thing I noticed that those cramps, I would perceive them so much more if I'm breathing normally, like just breathing normally. But what I noticed was that if I practiced shallow breathing like this, when the pain comes or when I have those cramps, I actually noticed that it would be less painful. Like it would be less painful. But if I'm breathing like I normally do, I would feel every bit of the cramp. So I'm in no way comparing my irritable bowel syndrome, stomach cramps to labor pain. I've never been through labor, so I'm not even comparing it. But I think it's the same principle that works in labor. Those deep breathing exercises, they help you to be in control, and they also decrease the perception of pain. So yeah, it's breathing exercises. I totally recommend them. Yeah, totally recommend. And then also your positioning is very important when you are in labor, because a lot of women experience back pain. So they'll be experiencing lower abdominal pain and back pain. And that's all because of the positioning of the baby's head in utero or in your womb. And when you are in labor, the uterus, it exerts a pushing down force on the baby, right? And babies that are going to be born with the head first. So the head is the one that's at the bottom, and it will be pressing on the mother's spine and lower back. I'll insert a picture over here so that you can see how this looks. So the more you have contractions, the more those contractions will be pushing down, and the baby's head will be exerting pressure on your lower back. So that's what will cause you to have that lower back pain. So you want to try and assume positions that are going to decrease the pressure on your lower back, for example. So positions where you will be sitting on a chair but leaning forward, or positions where you will be kneeling on all fours, or what other positions? Or if you are standing, you lean on a table or on a desk. Yeah, so I'll insert like some pictures of all those positions. But yeah, they help to decrease the pressure on your back, which it also decreases the pain, especially on your back, the back pain. And then keeping mobile, it also helps. Keep walking. Try and keep walking. Because also, if you think about it, if you are lying in bed, and especially if you are lying on your back, that baby's head is directly on the spine. So you'll have a lot more back pain if you are lying on your back. And also avoid lying on your back when you are pregnant, because you don't want to decrease the blood flow to back to your heart, which will decrease also the blood flow that is going to your baby. Yeah, so another thing that women find really helpful when they're having that back pain is massage. So if you have a labor support person, they can massage you. They can massage you and apply different types of pressure when you're having those contractions, and a lot of women find that helpful. And then also you can try hot and cold compresses. For example, like with period pains, hot compresses or warmth. It really helps to decrease the pain. Warmth. Using things like water bottles and putting them on your lower abdomen, exactly where you are feeling the pain, or staying or getting into a bath of warm water. Yeah, getting into a bath of warm water and just sitting in the bath. It can also help with the contractions. Or if you don't prefer the hot, and then you can try cold. Yeah, whichever works for you. Those are the practical things that you can do. So when you go to labor ward, if you have a water bottle, a hot water bottle, take it with you. The massaging, and you can even like get massage oils so that it makes it a bit better, especially if you have a labor support person. Keep walking around for as much as possible, especially if you are not on continuous fetal monitoring, like they are not continuously checking your baby's heart, and you don't have those belts around you, and then you have to stay in bed. But if you are not, and you're like low risk at a low risk clinic, keep mobile for as long as possible. It will also help to progress your labor as well. And then point number 8, tip number 8, very, very important, guys. Very important. Nutrition in labor. Keep eating for as long as possible and for as long as you can manage to eat. Nausea and vomiting, it's a huge thing in labor. So especially when you are more advanced in your labor and you're closer to giving birth, you don't want to eat too much, because a lot of women in that period, they experience the nausea and the vomiting. So while your labor is still early, try and eat and drink as much as you can, guys. You do not want to be dehydrated when you are in labor, because one thing, if you are dehydrated, that can also slow down the progress of your labor. So if, for example, you get to the hospital maybe in the afternoon, make sure you have supper. Make sure you have supper. And then if you're going to stay overnight, okay, if you are able to sleep, you're going to sleep. But if you're not eating, keep on drinking. Keep on having light snacks, fruit, energy bars, light snacks. And then you can have like, if for example, you had to stay overnight and then it's the morning, have breakfast. Have something that you can eat for breakfast, and then in between your meals, have those light snacks. Don't eat too much. Don't overdo it. Don't eat too much. But try and make sure that even if you do have a low appetite, try and eat in small amounts frequently, and drink water, juice, those kind of things, so that you don't become dehydrated and you don't become starved. You want your labor to progress, and you will need the energy when you need to push the baby. So make sure that you keep eating for and drinking for as long as possible. So like the things, some of the things that actually make labor slow and prolong labor, it's dehydration, anxiety, and a full bladder. So as much as you are drinking and eating, make sure that you emptying your bladder frequently by peeing, and then work on the emotional side as well. The emotions, keep yourself calm. That's why you need to be prepared mentally of what's going to happen, and see the birth as positive so that you can decrease your anxiety, because then you will be fighting all of the things that can slow down your labor and make it prolonged, which will prolong the pain and discomfort for you, and you don't want that. So point number 9, this one, I think it's very important to have some memories of that moment. Yeah, man, I feel like labor and the birth of your baby, it's one of those memorable experiences that you can ever have. So if you are able to take pictures, take videos, especially if like you are in private and you're able to have a labor support partner, even if you're in public and you are able to have a labor support partner, take pictures of the process. if you want to, of course, if you want to, and keep those memories when your baby is born. Keep those memories. So that will need you to be prepared. Have your gadgets, your phones ready, your chargers. You need to have memory on your phone. Yeah, it's a very beautiful experience. It's a very labor. It's such a miracle. It's such a miracle. It's such an amazing time. And every time it just never gets old. It never gets boring. It's always such a great miracle to see a new life being birthed and to see the power of a woman. You know, women are so powerful, guys. Women are so strong. So yeah, if you want to have memories of that moment, by all means, take your memories, take your videos, take your pictures of all those special moments to you. Yeah, so you'd have to be prepared for that with your gadgets and yeah, all those things. Yeah, and then just the last point, be prepared with your all the things that you need physically, that you need to pack in your hospital bag, your toiletries, baby's clothes, and make sure that you have clothes to change after you give birth, because things can get really messy and dirty. So have clothes that you will change into after you give birth. Have your toiletries, like your maternity pads. You need that, toiletries, washcloths, your toiletries, your cosmetics, lotions, everything, guys. Bring it with. Baby's clothes and comfortable clothes for you as well. Comfortable clothes that there also won't be too much of a hassle to remove when you need to be checked and all those things. If you want to give your baby formula and not breast milk, for whatever reason, make sure that you come with the formula. You bring the formula with you to the hospital, and bring your documents like your ID, your passport, for the baby's birth certificate. Yeah, have everything. Make sure you have your chargers, your phones, so that you can be able to communicate with your people and update them on the progress of labor. Yeah, so those are the tips that I wanted to share with you guys on how you can prepare yourself for labor or childbirth. I know that it was actually a lot, and this video is actually going to be long. Yeah, but I really think that all the information I gave in this video is very, very NB. I have everything that I've said in this video, it's what I've seen in the hospital, what I've observed, and what I feel like, you know what, at least if this would be done, it would really help a lot of women to get through their labor more smoothly. Yeah, so I really hope that you have benefited from this video. And please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And most importantly, please share. Please share. And please don't leave without commenting, especially if you've had a baby before and you've been through labor. If you are comfortable with it, please do share your experience with us down in the comment section. I would really love to hear your experiences. And yeah, man, if you found any of these tips helpful, or if you think that anything I mentioned in this video would have helped you in your previous labor, please do let us know. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I really enjoyed giving you all of these tips. Yeah, I feel like I've emptied myself in this video. I've given you guys everything, and yeah, I'm so happy because I really want you guys to win. I want you women to be so empowered to go through your labor and have positive birth experiences, because the birth of your child is such an amazing thing. I really feel like you want to have positive memories about it. So yeah, try and work through that pain. Try and work through that pain so that you can have an awesome experience and great memories to look back to. So yeah, Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I love you so much, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.